Hello, and welcome to my 517 Follow Friday series. Today, I am joined by Ryan Herrst from Media Ace Marketing. Ryan provides SEO and marketing services to business owners with a unique focus on the Google algorithm. He works to prioritize your business's online presence and demonstrate your business's expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. Ryan, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. I'm happy to be here.
So let's first start with what kind of business owners do you typically work with?
Ideally, small businesses, and that would be local. I've found some of my best results with a lot of attorneys in general, but in its core, attorneys are small business owners. They have expertise and authority in their field, but at its core, they're small business. So a local small business. It's unusual that somebody would go to another state and you have state restrictions on your bar and your license. So you can only practice within the state, but most people want to work with people in their local community with whatever that might be. So that's where I shine most is working with local businesses.
Okay. The big question is SEO. So I know that many business owners hear it thrown around. They don't really understand it, what it means, and how it impacts their searchability. So can you just give us the 101 on SEO?
Search engine optimization, SEO, the ability as a business to be found by your customers. And so I know that about 60 to 70% of all of the traffic, all of the calls and clicks and website visits are going to take place in the top 3 or 4 spots of a Google search. The vast majority of any given consumer is doing that search on their phone. They're certainly not going to go to the 20th or 30th or 40th spot on that Google Maps because our phones are GPS trackers. And so Google has renamed Google Maps. And so can you be found on the map? It's kind of similar to putting your shingle out on your door, right? As people drive by, as there's traffic that might be going down the road, you want people to identify that you have a business. And so at its core, search engine optimization is the ability to be found by Google to match up that customer with your business.
Okay. It's interesting that you say most people use their phones when they're doing searches like this. Has that shift from maybe, laptops, desktops to phones, has that changed how you approach SEO optimism, like the marketing of it, or does it not really impact it?
Slightly. So when a Google search or I would say there are 2 aspects that we optimize a search for. And so so one half is called off-page optimization, and the other half is on-page. And so off-page optimization is all the activities that basically happen off of your website. Okay. And that would include social media, whatever social media channel you could even possibly think of, all the way from Yelp to Facebook to YouTube to all of the social media channels, but also the direct information that I would say Google is the 90% market share of a Google search right now. So all of the information that Google has on your business or has ever had, all the information that Google like reviews that customers give, maybe photos that either you or a customer have provided about your business. So that's all off-page, I would say, optimization or off-page information that Google and Bing or DuckDuckGo compiles to try and identify your business. On page would be all of the information for your website. And so the biggest changes with mobile is, I would say, page load speed on a mobile phone for a website. Because if somebody's trying to bring up your website to try and identify, can they trust this business, but it takes more than 5 seconds, more than 10 seconds for that website to load, they're just
Mhm.
going to move on to the next business, because if it takes more than 10 seconds for a website to load, either their phone is not working, or maybe the website's down and they get a little bit confused, and so they're just going to move on, because a confused buyer is a not buyer. So
Right. Okay. Now, when it comes to a Google profile, you talked about a couple different things, like you mentioned photos and reviews. How important is it to have your profile set up, and what are the features that we should have? Because I have a Google profile, but I don't post things regularly. I mean, I do have some photos and things up there, but I don't treat it like I do Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. So how should we be viewing our Google profile?
almost 30% of your optimization, or your ability to rank on maybe the first page of Google, almost 30% is the information that you give Google. This Google business profile optimization, your ability to have that. One of the key things within the way to optimize your Google profile is how you decide what your primary and secondary categories are. And I know this might get a little bit technical, but those who might know, this could be really important. Let's take attorneys and lawyers for an example. There are 43 separate categories that a lawyer can choose for either a primary or secondary category. Google allows one primary and 10 subcategories out of a possible 43. Depending, and within that, I would say 11 categories that you could potentially choose for your law firm, you can only choose one primary. Of the vast, your choice on that primary category could mean first page or third page, just
Right.
in itself. So highly crucial that you get that primary category correct. And that can be very, very confusing for a lot of attorneys, for a lot of lawyers, because you could choose just attorney as your primary category. You could choose law firm as your primary category. Both are correct. You are a lawyer.
Mhm.
You are a law firm. But if you're, an estate planning attorney and you only focus on estate planning, choosing an estate planning primary category would benefit you far more than a
Mhm.
law firm primary category. You can provide, like I said, up to 10 subcategories, but choosing that primary category is one of the highest value activities that you could do within your Google business profile.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go check that out now, because I'm pretty sure it's attorney or law firm and I need to change it. Okay. What about the Google reviews? So I've heard that you need to always make sure you respond quickly, even if it's, good or bad, and that it's really important to have consistent reviews over time. So, what what are the things that we need to know about Google reviews?
Google wants to see, in you know, any search engine, they want to see a little consistency over time. So if you say you've been in business for 5 years, and in the first maybe 6 months, say you got 20 reviews in the first 6 months, but have not had a single review after that,
Mhm.
well, it kind of degrades over time, because Google will be like, well, you were really good 5 years ago, but then
Mhm.
over time you'll trickle down in your rankings, because Google is not, they're saying, well, if you're a good law firm or if you're a really good business, then you will continue on a regular, semi-regular basis to
Right.
continue to provide really good service. And we can see that you're active in your community, you're active in
Mhm.
your business. Your ability to consistently get new reviews shows those search engines that you are a high authority business, that you're providing a really good service that people want to do business with. So getting a whole bunch and then nothing, yes, it's good to have a lot of good reviews, but it's much better to kind of trickle them in over time.
Okay.
Half the battle, as you talked about, or the hardest part is getting those new reviews. And then I find that your ability to respond to reviews. Yes, it's good that you're responding to that
Mhm.
client or that customer, but what you're really doing is you're responding to all the people that are going to be looking over that review into the future. And
Right.
so how do you handle adversity with maybe a not so good review? So your ability to respond to that 1 or 2 star review diplomatically
Mhm.
uh, will tell volumes about the type of business that you are, about the type of person that you are.
Yeah.
Um, and I know Amy Zander loves talking about, um, words matter. And
Mhm.
here is a great way to show how your words matter and how you respond to adversity with a negative review. With a positive review, thank the person. You can kind of use some of the same words that they use and thank them for saying, oh, maybe they thank you for being a trustworthy advisor.
Mhm.
So we're so appreciative that you acknowledged that we are a trustworthy advisor. So kind of parroting back some of the words that they use in their own review and encourage them to come back for more, I guess, is a great
Okay.
framework.
Okay. Now, is there anything that you do when you're working with your customers to help them get reviews, or do you have any suggestions on how, as a business owner, I can tactfully solicit reviews? I struggle with that a little bit, and I'm sure other business owners do as well.
Yeah, it depends on the business. So, I mean, I'm talking to a lawyer right now, so I think, I'll use you as an example. And your business better than anybody. You're going
Mhm.
to know when the most opportune time, when are your clients maybe at their happiest? It's probably not just before their bill, but it's at the end of the case when they've
Right.
achieved their desired effect, right? Whenever they are at their happiness. And then so when that client is at their happiest moment, most likely to give you that positive review, sending them a couple different, I would say, opportunities, maybe a text message where it would be like one click, making it really simple for them. One
Right.
click, take them to that Google review to be able to leave that review. Google has a hierarchy of how it wants to represent that review. The absolute top tier best review you could get would be of a client or customer that is taking a video of themselves, because video is becoming king. So a client testimonial of them giving a video testimonial is like the pinnacle, the very, very top of what you could possibly do. A client testimonial with an image or would be the second tier down. Just a text testimonial would be the third step down. And then just a 5 star rating would be the lowest tier that would be the best possible scenario, whatever. But just providing simple, easy, and multiple touch points for a customer or client to be able to leave that review is probably the best thing you could do.
Okay. I
For an
didn't realize.
attorney, what I recommend to some of my attorneys is that maybe say you have a final meeting with a client, and you're giving them the deliverables
Mhm.
for what they're doing. You could have them either type up or bring their review in with them, and you can go over that review, because for a lot of attorneys that it's a confidential relationship
Right.
on whatever's going on. And so have them bring a review into that final meeting. You can review the review to ensure that there's nothing that would be, breaking any kind of
Right.
confidential information or damaging to the client or damaging even to you. Can't put words in their mouth, but you
Right.
can work with them to make sure that it's highlighting them and not breaking any confidentiality disclosures or anything like that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I didn't realize you could do video or even photo reviews. I just thought it was just either typing something out or, clicking the stars. So that's interesting. Maybe I'm gonna have to hit up Amy Zander because she likes to do video stuff. Okay.
Mhm.
What about these backlinks? So we've talked about this before. I've read about it on your website. I still don't think I understand what a backlink is and what it does and how it's good. So Let's talk about that a little bit.
Sure. I think the best way I like to describe this, and I'll try and be brief, but imagine that you are a rock in space, in like our galaxy, and that around this, every bit of information, every social media post, every YouTube video, every blog that you write is a different type of light or frequency that is coming out of your planet, of your rock. There are nearby planets, asteroids, rocks that are in your galaxy. A backlink would be like Fox 47 News or a university or a youth sports organization that would put your website on their website or would mention your business. It's kind of like shining a light from their planet onto your planet in that galaxy. The more lights, the more organizations, the more local, all right? The more local organizations that are highlighting your business, the brighter your planet is going to shine.
That makes sense. Okay.
So a backlink is just that local businesses that are highlighting your business.
Okay. And I feel like a lot of the stuff that goes on the internet stays on the internet forever. So is it more important that there are newer, consistent backlinks, or just having any backlinks at all at any point in the history of time is good?
I mean, quantity is certainly good, but quality is better.
Okay.
So a quality backlink would be a trustworthy organization. And like I mentioned, so maybe a news outlet. So if a business, imagine a dark asteroid that is shining a flashlight on your planet, that's not necessarily going to be a very bright light. But if you had like Mars, a very, very big planet, like Fox 47 or Michigan State University, or could even, like I said, a youth sports is a very good, because there's a lot of parents that are going to those websites or seeing your business on a very regular basis. So any business that is a high authority business that then shines their light or highlights your business will raise you up a lot more. So the quality of that business backlinking to your business matters more than the quantity of a lot of low quality.
Okay. All right. So the last thing I was going to ask you about today is the press release service that you offer. So can you talk about this? What is it, and how does it help us?
Yeah, a lot of businesses know or maybe have heard that writing a blog is good. It helps establish some authority for your business. It helps communicate what you do. But kind of like your website, if you can have a beautiful, beautiful website. Maybe you've heard of businesses that, you spend 20, 30, 40, even $50,000 for a website. But if nobody goes to that website, it doesn't really matter how much you spend. So what a press release does is it helps create that blog. It creates information about your business, but then it helps to drive traffic to your website, to that blog, and gets you the attention that you're trying to actually get. And in that press release, it's essentially what we do is we condense down a blog article that maybe we've written, and we syndicate it and we publish that to multiple different news outlets, high authority backlinks, that are now driving traffic and providing authority and driving traffic to your website. So then that creates that backlinks, and it's also driving authority and getting more traffic to your business and more eyes on your business. And the more eyes we can get on your business, the more business you're going to do.
Right. Okay. All right. That makes more sense than I thought the first time we talked about it. So, okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you all for watching. I will have all of Ryan's contact information in the caption for the video. If you're a business owner, especially attorneys, and you're interested in learning more about how Ryan can become the ace for your business's online game, you should reach out to him today. And if you're interested in being featured on my 517 Fellow Friday series, you can send me an email at katrina@cornerstonelegalplc.com. Thank you all for watching.